Hey, good morning, Mizzou fans. Gabe DeArmond here, PM in the AM for Tuesday, September 16th. And as we're going to be doing all week this week, we are talking Missouri, South Carolina. Eli Drinkwitz and players available at Media Day in a couple hours. So we'll have full coverage of that and tell you what they have to say about this matchup. I am still just fascinated by the way that this game has changed in the last really in the last 3 days, but certainly in the last 3 weeks. This was a game before the season that I think everybody looked at as, 50-50, maybe even a slight edge to South Carolina. I think the spread probably would have been South Carolina by about a field goal in August. As of Tuesday morning at 8 o'clock, the spread is Missouri by 13 points, pretty much across the board. You can get it at 12, you can get it at 13 and a half, but it's right about there, nearly a two touchdown game. And while that may have something to do with the health of Lenora Sellers and doubt whether he's going to play or not, I think it just has far more to do with the way that South Carolina has played. They didn't look all that good in the opener against Virginia Tech, 124-11. I thought after watching that game, I don't think Virginia Tech's very good. Well, Virginia Tech's even worse than we thought. Got blown out by Old Dominion last week and fired their head coach. So that win doesn't mean a whole lot. Uh, in week two, South Carolina beat South Carolina State. I think it was 38-10, but they had like 250 yards of offense and didn't look very good. And then got absolutely blown out on their home field by Vanderbilt on Saturday night. And even if Lenora Sellers plays that whole game, South Carolina was not winning that game. Vanderbilt was the better team. It didn't look like an upset. It just looked like Vanderbilt was the better team. So I think this game and the spread and the expectations for it now honestly has something to do with the fact Missouri's been better than people thought it was going to be. I mean, if you've watched this Missouri team, they look like a good football team, even though maybe they haven't had a great opponent to prove it against yet. They look like a team that is capable of being in the playoff conversation in November. But I think it's far more about South Carolina and how they've looked. Before the season, I would have probably said this was Missouri's third or fourth toughest game, right? You probably put Alabama above it, maybe on the road at Oklahoma, but then it's in the conversation there with Auburn and A&M and as one of those real swing games. And now it's become a game that if Missouri wants to get where it wants to get, they have to win this game. Like you can't make the playoff on Saturday night, but you can come pretty close to not making it if you lose this game. I think it's now the second easiest SEC game on Missouri's schedule. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Things happen in college football. This could be a close game. But if you're just looking at how South Carolina's played, how Missouri's played, this suddenly has turned into a game that Missouri really can't afford to lose. So Missouri's answered the bell so far, obviously, three times. The Kansas game was closer than it needed to be, but if you look at the stats, Missouri dominated that game. Missouri has dominated three straight games. South Carolina's 2-1, but they've been dominated in one, and frankly, didn't look all that good in the other two. So again, I mean, this is a game that everybody's going to look at and say, "Hey, Missouri needs to win this game." Now, the downside of that is maybe you won't get the credit for beating South Carolina that you thought you would get 2 weeks ago, but the credit doesn't matter. The credit will come. You go win 10 games in this league. You're going to get the credit. You're going to have to beat good teams. I think Vanderbilt and South Carolina have traded places. Like Vanderbilt was a game you looked at coming into the season saying, hey, that's a probable win. Now in Nashville, that's one that you look at and say, that one's going to be tough. Could go either way. And South Carolina is a game that you would have had in that first category, and now it's hey, you need to win this game. So Missouri needs to win this, and again, the season still comes down to 5 games. It's just that those 5 games are different. You've got to be 3-2 against Alabama, A&M, Vanderbilt, Auburn, and Oklahoma. You got to find a way to win 3 of those games. It doesn't matter which 3, but if you win 3 of them, you're going to go hang out in the top 12 and play a playoff game, which is look, I'm not going to shy away from saying it. That's the goal at this point in time. Appreciate you hanging out here on Tuesday morning. Cody Goodwin and I did a show last night. That's here on the channel. We'll have video and transcripts and everything from Media Day a little bit later this afternoon. So come back here to check that out. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Go over to the site. 30% off at Power Mizzou. That's kind of a rolling deal. Like we want to get you in the door. Check it out for 30% off your first year. We think we'll do enough to keep you around. So just go give us a shot. 30% off, $1 for your first month. Either way you want to do it. Hope to see you over there, and we will talk to you later on.